All right, chat, lock in. We've got breaking reports developing around outside of Caracas. Reports of heightened security posture near Miraflores Palace. There's National Guard presence in the city and chatter about possible confrontations near the seat of power, the White Palace, they say. Anyway, this is the kind of thing that happens when the regime is either panicking, consolidating, or fighting itself. Okay. Now, if you had to think, had to guess right now what it is, Chad, I want to say number one, put a number one if you think it's a real coup attempt. Number two, it's a counter coup. Or number three, a stage justification for crackdowns. Drop a 1, 2, or 3. Let me know. Anyway, so I'm going to play some video clips of it real quick. We can talk about what the narrative they're saying is and what it potentially could be. So here we go. So you see the police presence here. Here's some actual gunfire. Sounds like Call of Duty Warzone.
Anthony!
Here's some more.
Mandando a tirar al suelo a este carajo y este carajo ni. Si escucha lo que le dice y que para dónde vas tú, yo vivo aquí, le dice este carajo. Mierda, qué susto, chamo.
So anyway, that's some clips of circling. There's a lot more. You can go on any social media site and look at it. And, you know, I'm not going to paint you some fairy tale here. I'm going to give it to you in what we call pattern recognition, because Venezuela is not some foreign problem. It's a case study in how states get hollowed out, essentially. Now, they're trying to use a cover story that some kind of drones that were flying over, because you do see gunshots shooting in the air, but we don't necessarily know if that's the case, because obviously they just got bombarded with firestorm from U.S. military. So I think anything in the sky they're going to shoot down. But that's currently what they're saying. Let me know, 1, 2, or 3, if you think it's, you know, because they love to bring in a coup to have control. Delcy Rodriguez sworn today, obviously, and some say that she was the leak, that she's been actively working with the CIA. And it's kind of like kabuki theater of her basically saying that they'll stay a sovereign nation, return Maduro, and all that sort of stuff. You know how they do politics here. It's all kabuki theater. But in Maduro went and pled not guilty today. So we'll see how that goes. But again, I'm going to tell you, like, when you invade a country, remove the dictator, it's the lie that people get addicted to. They take out the dictator and people get freedom. Man, that's Hollywood. Reality is power structures. Libya, why it went to hell. Gaddafi falls and everyone claps. And then what happens? No unified replacement structure. Armed factions don't demobilize. Foreign powers start playing chess with local militias. The CIA is great at that, if you didn't know. So they love doing that. But when the monopoly of violence breaks, the state fragments. That's why you get militia rule and chaos, essentially, in all these places. Iraq, right? Why it created an insurgency factory. Saddam falls. Then the U.S. dissolves the Iraqi army. It's not policy. That was gasoline. You created a massive class of trained armed men with nothing to lose, and insurgencies recruit from that pool, and men without jobs now. So what's going to happen? Syria, why continuity mattered more than morality. Syria didn't win. It didn't collapse completely because the core institutions stayed intact and the opposition fractured. The state survives when the gun structure survives. The people with guns. Chat, what matters more in crisis, elections or the guy who controls the guns? Let me know. Mine is to control the guns, because I've done seen enough third world countries that the military generals just take over after the fact, right? So now Venezuela, this is where Americans get arrogant and stupid. Why don't they just rise up? That's what's being said online. Why don't they just rise up? Because revolutions require capacity, not just feelings or typing on a keyboard. One huge factor is civilian disarmament and weapons centralization. When a state restricts civilian arms hard enough, you change the whole equation. Protests can exist, but resistance becomes symbolic. And real regime change requires military defection or outside force. Hence, we just saw. And the regime knows that. That's why they centralize weapons, because once only the state has guns, the state decides what law is. Here's a clip of a young lady from Venezuela talking about this.
They hated the government because the government took their guns back in 2012. Let that be a lesson to you. Venezuelans have literally been fighting back with sticks and stones, while the government and the military just mows them down with their guns.
So it's all for show. It's all for show. Chat, question for you. If only the state has guns, what does rights even mean? Tell me, what does rights even mean if the state is the only ones that have guns? That's why our Constitution is written the way it is. Now, some people in Congress and some Hollywood actors want to take those away, but we see where that gets. Okay. Now, this is I've got another clip I want to play for you. This is a young lady living in the U.S. happy Maduro is gone.
About Venezuela. And you have never been in Venezuela, you have no idea what's going on, you never research, you don't have friends that are from Venezuela, keep your opinions to yourself. We have been waiting for 27 years to get free from this government. We don't care what are the alternate motives or what is the whole behind it. We don't care. And most of the Venezuelan people that you know, that they are not living in Venezuela, they didn't left because they wanted to look for better opportunities. Most of us left because we have no freedom. We have no freedom of speech. We cannot talk about the economy. We cannot talk about what's going on. We cannot talk about politics. We cannot talk about anything in Venezuela. So for the people that says that communism and socialism is the way, well, you need to live in one of those countries first. You need to live in a country like Venezuela or like Cuba, where you have no freedom whatsoever. And then we can talk. This is why it bothers me so much about social media. This is not what I like to talk about in my own social media, but I've seen so many negative comments, and we just want to change. And there is millions of people dying every day in Venezuela.
So, there's a lot of people sharing that same sentiment that's not a theme. That's a lived experience. People fled because life under that system is suffocation. We've seen them trying to push socialism here. They want it. They want it badly. Okay. The left, especially, a lot of the radicals, they want it. And look, radicals on both sides, man. I'm through with radicals because they can't take logic, right? But again, taking the guns, taking freedom of speech, hence why our forefathers wrote the Constitution the way it is. When people say they took guns, the deeper point is the regime doesn't need to win hearts and minds when it controls weapons, courts, intelligence, media, food distribution, jobs, and permission. This happens throughout the world in third world countries. And that's why people leave, because fighting becomes a death sentence unless the security apparatus fractures. And that's the bridge into the story that people need to know. This is the one that I did a video on this 5 years ago. And I think it's very relative now. It's relative because throughout the past 5 years, I've seen people say, hey, man, let's take our country back. Let's take it back. That's great on a keyboard. And expecting someone else to do it for you is always the play. Everybody's a patriot until it's time to do patriot shit. Okay. And this leads me to the story of a famous Venezuelan named Oscar Perez. I actually began following Oscar Perez in 2013 on Instagram. And he is the perfect example of how patriot shit is real and how it gets you killed. Okay. So who was he? Okay. I'm post up some pictures of him so you can get a face to the name. This is him here. He worked for the CIC-PC, Venezuela's Scientific Criminal Investigative Police. Think federal level criminal police with military type training. Like he's a helicopter. This dude is Rambo. Okay. Helicopter pilot, scuba diver, parachutist. I began following him back in the day because of his shooting videos, man. He would do crazy things shooting and just awesome feats. Okay. But then one day, before I get that, he was a licensed helicopter pilot, obviously state trained, operational access. The other thing is he was also an actor, known publicly, famous down there, action film star, visibility following. So that combination is rare. He's Rambo in real life, Rambo on TV. So trained, military, law enforcement trained, aviation, tactical skills, public fame. And if anyone could rally people, it would be a guy like that because he's got credibility and a platform. So when I was following him, I started following him, I think, in 2013 because he'd be like shooting with a mirror and stuff. I mean, just cool stuff. So what did he do? One day I'm looking at my Instagram feed in 2017 and all of a sudden this video pops up. Okay. At first I thought it was some kind of movie he was doing because obviously he's an actor too. So real Rambo and fake Rambo at the same time. He filmed this and basically said he was going to do a revolution and oust Maduro. Well, he took a helicopter, flew over Caracas, dropped messages, propaganda pamphlets, hey, let's rise up and take our country back. He also tossed a few grenades over the Capitol. He fired shots at government facilities. He released videos like this calling for resistance and defection. Okay, that wasn't technically a battle plan, but he was trying to spark momentum to inspire cracks in the system. So why did he fail? A guy with tactical skill, equipment, few guys with him, and fame. Why don't these YouTubers rise, these veteran YouTubers rise up? Because visibility isn't power in the real world, right? And once you go public, the state, the country does what they do. They track you, isolate you, infiltrate your networks, cut off your support, and wait till you're cornered. So during this time, he releases that video, and he's releasing video. He's gone for months doing this revolution, dropping videos, and crowds are cheering, but nothing happened. Nobody helped him. So in 2018, in El Junquito, he posted videos during the standoff. Okay, I saw the videos when it was happening, real time. I'm following the guy, and I'm highly into it at this point in time because he's posting them constantly. He's cornered in a little abandoned shack with a couple guys. And he's waving a flag, and he said, look, I'm attempting to surrender. Now, this guy's got a wife and kids. They went and shot them like dogs. They surrendered, and Maduro sent his hitmen in there and still shot them like dogs. So whether you call it an extrajudicial killing or a ruthless raid, the strategic point is the same. The regime did not want a public trial. Trials create symbols, and dead men create warnings. So chat in the comments, be honest. Would you do what Perez did knowing how it ends? That's how revolutions die. Not because people are cowards, because the structure is engineered to make resistance a death sentence. Again, all these people said they were going to back him. They were going to be behind him. They were there for him. You know who showed up? Maybe 5 guys. This is a famous actor, highly trained, with helicopters that he stole, automatic firearms, explosive, pyro. And he got shot like a dog, even when he was cornered trying to surrender. Now, I have seen a lot of people saying online that I got to clean up because the internet is dumb. Okay. They talk about Machado, right? So White House officials have said that the reason Trump did not back Maria Machado for president of Venezuela is that she has accepted the coveted Nobel Peace Prize, an award Trump felt he is entitled to. They're saying that Trump is mad because she took the award and should have not accepted it, so he got it. But the thing I see about on the internet is that Machado, she wouldn't be the president because Machado wasn't even on the ballot. People are saying Maduro stole the election from Machado. Guys, the thing is that irritates me about the internet and people on the internet is they don't pay attention and they form opinions from half-ass memes and posts. I research everything heavily. During the time that this was happening, because there was election fraud with the Dominion and so on during this time, it was Edmundo Gonzalez running against Maduro, not Machado. Okay? He was the opposition. She backed him because she was barred from running for president. They thought Edmundo could get the pull from the public because public liked Machado, even though Trump said they didn't, but they do. They love her. But she could not run. So just like the 2 a.m. during 2020, Edmundo's winning. I even did a video on it when it happened. So that's how locked in I am. I was doing content about this the day it happened. He's winning. Even at the polls, behind the poll workers is showing Edmundo winning by a landslide. But at 2 a.m., Maduro came through, man. Oh, man, we found a bunch of ballots. You know? So the electronic voting system, they're saying during that time is Dominion style, is compromised. But I'm just saying what the chatter is because people are getting it wrong. They're saying, oh, Machado, right? But the deeper truth is this, that even if opposition wins on paper, paper doesn't transfer power, okay? It's just how it is. These coercive institutions don't allow it. Chat, what matters more, ballots or battalions? we gotta keep getting to this. But that's how it is. Gunfire, military buildup. So saying misunderstanding involving a civilian drone. It didn't look like civilian drones to me. Could just be a cover story. I don't know, chat. Do you think it's a cover story? Benny Johnson immediately said it was a coup. And, you know, Benny Johnson, he gets it directly from the White House because he's bought and paid for it. So who knows? Let me know in the comments what you think. You can go look at his post. He's got it on his Instagram. Now, a lot of people are talking about U.S. assets. I mentioned, man, Marines could take over in 3 hours, and people are like, you crazy. You crazy. The radicals. Either side radicals I just don't like. I just don't like radicalized people. I like logical people. But the radicals, the Marines couldn't take. You have no idea what 2026 U.S. Marine Corps can do. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about the U.S. assets, though, because a lot of people are questioning, especially if a coup is possibly happening. Do we have the ability to project force into the region quickly? Yes. Does that mean Marines tomorrow? Not automatically, but it's not off the table either. Here's the reality. If the U.S. decided it needed to control critical nodes like ports, airports, oil infrastructure, government facilities, The playbook will likely be rapid control of key terrain, securing logistic corridors, stabilizing infrastructure, forcing a political outcome after the fact. The thing is, especially the Marines that are down there, the Marine Expeditionary Unit, I was part of the 26th back in the day. They have got logistics figured out. Logistics is what wins wars. I read when I was in the Corps, we had the Marine Corps reading list, and one of the books I read was from World War II, talking about the logistics is what really you want to make or break a unit is logistics. That's it. You saw it happen in Russia during the beginning invasions of Ukraine, where they had logistical problems with their transport. It's a nightmare. It'll get you your whole team killed. All right. But going back to the Marines, the decision to send them in depends on the incentives, okay? Regional spillover, oil energy security, hostile actor involvement. So if we do have like Trinidad Arawa, so that's not off the table either, because they're essentially terrorists. They're running drugs. They kidnap and all what terrorists do. So let's say a hostile actor involvement like them, Trinidad Arawa, who we all know is government paid for. They're Maduro's henchmen. Internal collapse causing mass flight, right? And constraints, we're talking political costs, international blowback, and the risk of being stuck in holding the bag after the success. Now, chat, would you rather see the U.S. stabilize and own the mess, or let it burn and spread? Okay, because that's the real dilemma. Either you get tied up in some mess, or you let it burn and spread. It's kind of like a poop sandwich, no matter how you cut it. Really it is. Now, I want to tell you this, that I want to talk about the swamp creature, Miss Lindsay. Okay, let's play this clip.
Blow up the boat before they get here. You take down the source of the problem. President Trump didn't wake up one day and say, hey, let's take Venezuela. He did what other people talked about, but didn't have the balls or the guts to do it. This is a good thing. This is not interventionism. This is making America safer. We're going to be more prosperous because of the business deals.
Steel, you have minerals, right? All the critical minerals. They have a great mining history that's gone rusty. So steel, aluminum, minerals, this is all, it's a rich. It was once upon a time one of the great economies and cultures of the world, and it was destroyed, and now President Trump is going to fix it and bring it back.
And the oil companies are going to go in and rebuild their system. They're going to spend billions of dollars, and they're going to take the oil out of the ground, and we're taking back what they stole. Remember, they stole our property. It was the greatest theft in the history of America. Nobody has ever stolen.
So let me just paint the picture for you. We got Howard Lutnick, Jeffrey Epstein's neighbor there, also possibly our greatest ally. Ties, not possibly, he's tied to them. Okay, then we have Miss Lindsay, who's on Grindr and got more skeletons in the closet than I'm not even going to go there. Hanging out on Air Force One with Donald Trump. I thought we were draining the swamp. Damn, you're surrounded by it. You're surrounded by it. Howard Lutnick. Check out this clip.
One of the things that is happening, and I think you see it all the time, Howard, you've seen it, that Cuba is ready to fall. Yes. Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know.
Hot dog, Lindsay's excited. You see the man? They're about to fall. Yes. Who's that excited to see a country fall?
Cuba is ready to fall. Yes. Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know if they're going to hold out. But Cuba now has no income. They got all of their income from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan oil. They're not getting any of it. And Cuba literally is ready to fall. And you have a lot of great Cuban Americans that are going to be very happy about it.
The man's excited to see the country fall, man. Lindsay is the kind of guy who is always there when war's being discussed and somehow never is there when accountability shows up. He's the permanent priest of the permanent war machine, this guy. Right now, it's really disgusting, truthfully. Now, this second clip, I'm gonna play of Miss Lindsay. It should really make every patriot's skin crawl. Okay, check it out.
What I want to go after welfare fraud. I want to rewrite
First off, he has a "Make Iran Great Again" hat on. This guy.
the way the programs work. I want to make sure that every state, before they get $1 for food stamps or any form of welfare, that they send biometrics to the federal government proving that the person exists.
Say what? Biometrics? You're a Republican. What are you talking about? Police state?
And they're eligible for the services in question.
But why would we do that? Lindsay, Miss Lindsay, why would we do that, ma'am?
I want to go after the fraud that's so rampant in Minnesota and throughout these blue states.
Oh, the Patriots. Let me tell you right now, this is how the Patriots do it. This is biometrics for food assistance, okay? This is how it always happens. Expose a real problem, the fraud, it's a problem. Amplify it with panic. Propose surveillance as a solution, and it never goes away. Patriot Act 2.0 energy. This is exactly why I told you guys when I was a young man, all the diehard conservatives were cheering for Patriot Act. They wanted a surveillance state. Man, we got to get the terrorist. And you'll hear the Benny Johnsons, the Officer Tatums tomorrow. Yeah, we need biometrics. We got Minnesota. You'll hear it. They'll do it. Because if the problem falls on the team's side, oh yeah, man, we'll give up our rights. We'll give them guns out. That bump stock, we don't need it. Chat, when the surveillance states expanded and then rolled back, name the time it happened. So when has the government surveillance expanded and then they rolled it back? Name the time it happened. I want to know. Exactly. Okay. But again, this would have been pissing a lot of my viewers out, and maybe they're just radicalized. I don't know. They don't like hearing this from me because they're like, dude, you were so, I was kind of radicalized. I mean, I was, I'm not going to lie. Why is Trump standing next to this guy? Why keep swamp creatures that close? He's backing Lindsey Graham. He's going to show up in my state to promote for him. A lot of people say, man, you change. You done become a liberal. That's what they say. I didn't change. Trump did. Trump 2016 to 2020 was anti-globalist posture, hostile to intelligence agencies, publicly at war with the legacy media. He was unpolished, disruptive, and unpredictable. I loved it. Thought it was the greatest thing that ever happened. I voted for Trump, I remember, in the primaries, and people thought I was a moron, people that I knew personally. They're like, you're voting for Trump? He don't have no political experience. I didn't want political experience. I wanted someone to come in and gut the system. Okay, I did. Voted for him 5 times, 2 primaries, 3 elections. I was elated. Go watch my video of election night. I was elated. But now Trump, 2020, going into 2026, we have institutional language, normalized relationships with the very actors he once attacked, strategic silence where scorched earth would have been expected by him. He brought Mamdani to the White House the other week, saying he's going to do great things. Mamdani has been bashing Trump about Maduro. He's whole socialist reforming of New York City. He's got stability framing instead of the disruption that we need. Right? Now, I'm not automatically saying he's controlled opposition, but it does mean he's no longer the insurgent figure that I once rallied behind. And calling that out isn't betrayal. It's not me switching teams. It's pretending it isn't happening would be betrayal. That's what it would be. I'm doing this not to be anti-Trump, but to be pro-reality. Personnel is policy. If Graham was advising Biden, conservatives would be losing their minds. So keep the same standard. I always say what the litmus test is. If Joe Biden was to do it, would I be backing it? Joe Biden pushed for college loan forgiveness. Now, Donald Trump is also proposing the same thing. Okay. And a lot of people may say that I'm a betrayer. You know what it's called? It's not betrayal. It's called integrity. It's something I live by. I'm not going to change my beliefs because of the team captain switched. I'm going to maintain my integrity and my beliefs. Okay. I don't switch sides when the wind blows. I don't lockstep because, oh man, our team says this is good. And if you don't question everything, you'll fall for everything or fall for anything. If you don't question everything, you'll fall for anything. It's the truth. I'm sure some smart guy made that up because I heard it before. But that's how it is. Now, a lot is happening, a lot of stuff on the internet about what's going on in Venezuela. But we've seen history, and history has a terrible concept of repeating itself. And we know that when we take out a dictator, usually bad things happen. So the only way to secure it is to send boots on the ground. Marco Rubio's supposedly going there, and we'll see what happens. Now, I do want to take a quick break to talk about my boys over there at Black Forest Supplements, because I don't know if you know this, and I don't know if he even wants me saying this, but he fled Venezuela because of the problem there, the socialist destruction of the country. And he's a patriot. I've known this guy for years. I love guys that come from terrible situations and make the best out of it, right? Now, I'm going to play a clip talking about the cocoa flavonols because it's benefited me, and I get so many emails and messages saying that stuff has changed their lives, especially people that have had problems or maybe just trying to get fit. It's the new year. Okay. But this clip about the flavonols, because I'm a firm believer, I drink it every day. I put in my black coffee, I drink black coffee. I just put the flavonols in there. It makes it taste better, but also the health benefits.
Is a medicine, end of. One of the best medicines around is 50 grams to 100 grams of 75% or more dark chocolate. Brain health as well, cardiovascular health. They do studies where they've put cocoa into volunteers, that means students usually, so young kids, and they were able to show changes in the blood flow within minutes, certainly within an hour of eating cocoa.
So this powder, this is it here. If I can get it up here. They got a New Year, New Me 40% off site-wide today only. Okay, so it's a little late, but he'll cut it for you still. Let me get in here. The cocoa flavonols. So the cocoa flavonols it does three things, and one of those things is they'll charge you $10,000 for, basically to improve your stem cells. Okay, the FDA has approved it. It came out the other week. I showed this. The FDA come out talking about it qualified health claim to reduce risk of cardiovascular disease. So it is now under Maha. RFK Jr. is backing it because he's about health. Look at the dude. He's stacked, right? But anyway, it releases stem cells from your bone marrow. 2, it makes you 20% harder to kill. 3, it floods everything with nitric oxide. It's like you going to the stem cell clinic and ordering the entire menu of stem cell therapy with a cherry on top, because it's just basically a fraction of the cost. Okay. And if you think I'm exaggerating, you can go look at tons of researchers and doctors online. One of the top guys, Dr. Mills, herbal medicine researchers in the world, he talks about that, the dark chocolate is where the flavanol part, they extract it from dark chocolate. So it's not like eating a piece of chocolate bar, right? They extract it so nothing gets destroyed in the chocolate process. The flavonols don't get destroyed. Regular chocolate only has 50 milligrams of dead flavonols. Black Forest has 1,200 milligrams of pharmaceutical extracted flavonols, as you can see there. But this, the FDA again signed off, saying that the claim is accurate. It helps heart health, reduce cardiovascular risk. And I don't care about the FDA, man, but the evidence that the stuff works, especially that me using, I can't ignore it. Okay. But studies show that brain gets sharper, 8.6 seconds faster in cognitive tests, blood flow where it counts, 8% improvement, and the heart gets stronger. Okay. 27% less death. All proven through 21,000 human case study trials conducted by Harvard. The results were so definitive that, again, the FDA had to prove it, right? Before I started taking it, I definitely noticed, because I deal with high blood pressure, even though I work out and eat healthy, I deal with high blood pressure, reduce my high blood pressure and all that. My memory, I'm sharper, quicker, okay? You know, jumping upstairs like a kid, the whole nine. They take the finest cocoa, extract the flavonols, and give it to you, man. So anyway, 40% off site-wide, okay, for the new year. New year, new me deal, okay? But the cocoa formula is it, man. 48 hours only. So check it out. But I wanted to touch on that because it's a new year, time to get hard to kill, right? But anyway, Venezuela is the template, guys. Disarmament, centralization, elections become theater. Resistance becomes a death penalty. And the solutions offered are always more control. I talked about this years ago. I had the theory that Obama used Venezuela as a kind of play place for socialism. And again, history doesn't repeat, guys. It rhymes. And rhymes, and the rhyme is the scheme is power. But again, now Obama, obviously we know his involvement there, and Maduro, Chavez before him. It's been a socialist playground, kind of like a science project for them. And we see the outcome. People were fleeing there. They destroyed the economy. The same thing they tried to do in the United States, and may still do in the United States. We have Lindsey Graham, Republican, wanting biometric data sit in. It's not a good day. I want to give a shout out, Ben Johnson. Thank you, man. Bieber, thanks. Wake me up with all ends. Appreciate it. Pet Talk, keep America great. Say united. Jesus is Lord. That is correct. I can't even say you, but 60. It's because 60 billion in U.S. dollars in bonds, owned mostly by international investors. Yeah, I talked about that the other day. Jeremy, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I try to give truth, brother. Ben, again, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Bieber, again, thank you. Delete all social media, counting a few to keep me up to date. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm one of the ones that lasted. Long Beach, thanks. And again, thank you. Ben, again, man. Ben, you're really popping tonight. BCP, please never say lived experience again. That is leftist term. All experience are lived. Quit being a radical. Lindsay is a swamp creature, for sure. Simplified, brother. See, that's the thing, is like radicals. Like he's like, oh, there's a leftist. Quit. It's English language. It's English language, guys. Chill. Anyway, again, I do this, man. I try to find truth. Truth isn't always a nice thing to hear. You know, sometimes it rattles cages. Sometimes it hits people that really believe in something because they think somebody's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. Trump's not coming to save you. Lindsey Graham isn't coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. You got to do it for yourself. And again, if Oscar Perez is not showing us what happens when movements can die quickly, because most people are only keyboard warriors, and it's the truth. Anyway, guys, I want to share this intel to try to give as much as I could. Remember, stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Black Scout out.
2, 3. 4, 2.